That, the tough part for us, the giveaways were careless. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, those are things that we got to be better. And then we had obviously the one on the long drive there in the second half. So then they got going with their run game, which they do best. I really felt like our guys had a chance to go win this today, and the game got away from them. And like you said, I think your question was the answer. I mean, -4, you can't win games like that. You can't even stay in games, -4. And if you look at the way we played the last, 5 weeks or so, that's our formula to win. And it was the formula to lose today.
Cooper's played well, played solidly, taking care of football last few weeks. You just talk about the first turnover, then the last one, throwing deep on 3rd and 7. It allowed to be the last turnover.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely decisions that, you look at and it's not where we wanted to be there. That's for sure.
On the 3rd and 1, the deep pass to Mingo, they got picked off. You talked about, was the route not right? Or what
No, it wasn't picked off. It looked like the wind.
Yeah,
no, I understand. It looked like the wind got it a little bit, and felt like we had an opportunity to get on top. He did get on top, so it's unfortunate.
Mike Tyler with ESPN, Saquon top 2,000 yards today. Can you talk about what that means in terms of NFL history, and was it in case of just them wearing you down there a little bit because you guys are on the field so much?
Well, like I said, that's the best thing they do, and when you're playing downhill like that, I think it's definitely helpful, and that's they really got going. I thought our defense did a good job in the first half. The run defense was where it needed to be, because really the points were off of our giveaways. But yes, the 2 long drives in the 3rd quarter, and early in the 4th quarter. So he's obviously having a tremendous year.
How much could you tell when you were calling plays out there that how much more difficult was it not having CD out there?
We knew that. We knew it was going to be a different game, with the plan this week. So, yeah, but we never really, to be honest with you, we didn't really get to some of the things we'd hoped to get to. The plan was to play with favorable sticks. I felt that the way they called the defense, they were going to try to make us go the long way. They didn't play aggressive at all, and we gave them the ball, and so it obviously was a good plan for them. But felt good about the run plan coming in here, and I thought Rico did. Had some really good runs there, and the run blocking unit was productive. But yeah, we can't. It's hard to win games, especially if you're, -2. And really the first half was where it kind of got away from us right there at the end. And then, once they got the run game going, and then we had the 4th turnover. So, but yeah, passing game wise, it wasn't, I wouldn't really say that we stressed them a whole lot, schematically. But, we really wanted to stay in a healthy run pass ratio, and once again we got behind and the game changed.
Okay. Tim Cowboys Dallas Morning News. The team is going to finish with a losing record, and you've not had many of them in Green Bay or Dallas. What do you take away from that?
That's ask me that in 8 days. I just want to. I'm here to finish the race. That's my mindset, and that's the team's mindset. Have not.
Hey, Mike, Patrick Walker, Dallas Cowboys.com. Obviously, you guys already had depth issues at cornerback going into this game. It got worse in AO going to IR. When you see the opposing team targeting a guy like Andrew Booth, from a coaching standpoint, do you as them try to reset him at some point during the game, or do you let him kind of try to work through it organically?
There's communication going on all the time, regardless of if it was a productive play or a negative play. So yeah, there's obvious communication. They, obviously got after him, and you can't cloud up every single play, especially with the strength of their offense is running the football, and the strength is Saquon, the way he's rolling. So you're going to have to play some one high, and our guys know they got to stay on the outfield shoulder, and we didn't get that done.
David, and then finish with Clarence. Mike, I know you said you're disappointed with this, and the fact you had turned around the turnovers doesn't mean it's going to be like that every game, but were you a little surprised, especially after the first half you had and how you responded to the pick six, that it evolved into the sort of game it did?
Was I surprised?
Yeah, I mean, again, just from, they seem to be fighting through it, and even after that early.
No, I thought we responded exactly how you were supposed to respond to the pick six. You know, we got the ball, marched right down the field and scored. So, you know, but, you know, those giveaways were avoidable, you know, and that's, you know, it's just like every positive play, every negative play, you know, you evaluate it because that's the only way you truly have a true evaluation. So, you know, the result is what, as we know, is what matters, you know, and that's why we're sitting here with the record that we have. But at the end of the day, you're going to have those type of plays go against you, but they can't be self-inflicted. You know, those giveaways were self-inflicted.
You went to trade late. Did you think about going to him earlier?
I did the series before, yeah. So.
And looking next week.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, Clarence, I'm not there yet.
So Mike McCarthy, visibly frustrated, but still focused on ending the race, is what he said, finishing the race strong and having some level of output going into that final matchup against Washington next week. Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Barry, I'll start with you on this one. Mike McCarthy talking about how the turnover margin was significant. Yeah. I know that played a big factor, but was that the biggest factor in this loss to Philadelphia?
I would have to say it is. I mean, you're going into this game knowing that you're outmatched. You know, all the talent, physicality, whatever the case may be, Philly has a better team than you do this year. So you're going to have to go into that game and not have self-inflicting wounds. You're not going to have penalties. I believe they had 8 for 69. Yeah. And then I also believe they lost the turnover battle. And we talked about this all year long. You lose the turnover battle, you lose the game. That's been the recipe for success for the Cowboys during this little win streak they've had, but they weren't able to capitalize or weren't able to get the job done today in Philadelphia.
You have to win time of possession when you have a team that's better than you on both sides of the ball. You have to score touchdowns, not field goals, when you're playing a team that is better than you on both sides of the ball. And the Cowboys did not do that today.
They got beat down. I mean, so you talk about the turnover ratio, you talk about the time of possession. As soon as you get a pick six early on against a team that you already know is better than you and that you already know is an uphill battle, it's deflating. I'm just being 100% with you. It is very deflating to go in there knowing you're about to face a giant in Philadelphia Eagles, and then you go and you give them a pick six right off the bat. That's hard to overcome. And then when you finally start getting momentum going again, boom, ball gets popped out by Ferguson. At that point in time, you continue to fight, but the writing's on the wall.
And that's the case. And all of it kind of goes back to the way this season has unfolded. And nobody's going to give a pass for injuries. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to give a pass for a 7-9 record. I mean, it is what it is. And you saw the 7-9 team today. Yeah. Of course, you've won 4 of your last 5 games. You've played better down the stretch. You were within a couple plays in that Cincinnati game of being in playoff contention. Not the case going into this one, of course, but you saw the 7-9 team on the field in Week 17. When we come back, we're going to hear from Cooper Rush as well, quarterback for the Cowboys during most of the back half of the season. We'll get his thoughts after the Cowboys fall on the road, 41-7.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys fall on the road 41-7 to Philadelphia. Let's hear from Cooper Rush as he takes to the podium at Lincoln Financial Field after a tough one for Dallas.
Yeah, we got man there, man across the board with kind of a whole player. I need to see it if 8 was the whole player or 53 was, I don't know. But 8 obviously came off of it, made a good play. We got a kind of a read route there by Cooks, and just got to work through that one.
Just as a follow-up to that, you guys bounced back from that pick 6. You marched right down the field, you get a touchdown. And then the game kind of offensively started to kind of get away from you with the deep interception and the missing being deep. Just talk about how you have to overcome that going into the regular season finale and trying to get past that mentally.
Yeah, I think we were definitely proud of just going right down, marching on the field, and getting a touchdown to follow that. That was huge for our team and huge for the offense. And we felt like we could move the ball kind of all day. We just kept stopping ourselves with turnovers, and that's the name of the game. 2-3 plays here and there. They don't always happen, in the final minute to decide a game. Sometimes 2 or 3 early can flip a game, get it going, and then you get down and they have what they got over there. And so, yeah, we knew that going in. We just couldn't turn it over.
You talked about the decisions on the 2 interceptions, certainly the first one and then the 3rd and 7, deep ball to Cooks.
Yeah, first one, man across the board. 8 just fell off. Made a good play. I mean, veteran safety. We had an option route with the Cooks there, and I just got to work through that one.
Tim Callis, Dallas Morning News. You don't have a ton of interceptions in your starts, but you have 5 in this stadium. You just chalk that up to 2 bad days, or their defense, or what?
Yeah, just like I said, it's just a few plays. A lot of you have a lot of good plays, but for whatever reason, the stadium, I guess, I don't know. Maybe I don't subconsciously green, I don't know, something. But no, it's frustrating, especially when we've been playing well. We haven't been turning over, giving our defense, what they need, and you do that versus a good football team. It's very challenging.
Anyone else?
So you see the stat line there from Cooper Rush, 15 of 28 passing, had the 2 interceptions, one of which for a pick 6, the other one to the same guy who had the pick 6, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson and what he brought to the table. Isaiah, I'll start with you on this one. What did you see from Cooper today?
I saw him miss some throws. I saw him, obviously, early on. He just referenced the turnover that he had early to Gardner-Johnson, where he said that he fell off. I know when he'll go back and have opportunity to look at the all 22, he was just sitting there, right? Robber, spy, whatever, a rat player, whatever you guys want to refer to it as. That's where Gardner-Johnson was. He just didn't see the guy. And there were some other throws that were going to be critical for the offense's production later on in the game that he just missed, right? Some big plays. There was a big touchdown that he missed by overthrowing it. And he didn't play a great game. I just call it like it is. He didn't play a great game. And here's some plays that he's going to want back, throws he wants back, and decisions.
Yeah, he's definitely going to want some of those throws back. I mean, when you look at it the past 5 games, he's been pretty consistent as far as taking care of the football. I mean, 9 touchdowns to just 1 interception. We talked about it in the pregame. He's always going to give his team an opportunity to win games. But in this game, I know he's going against one of the best defenses in the National Football League, but you can't turn the football over like that, especially when you're outmatched. And the way, those footballs were turned over, it was just very uncharacteristic. I mean, like you just mentioned, Gardner-Johnson was sitting in the robber, sitting right in the window, and Cooper just, let it go. Like he just predetermined, I'm throwing this ball to this space no matter what's going on. And then we saw the second interception downfield where there was 3 Eagles there that could have intercepted that pass. So to me, this was a very uncharacteristic-like game for Cooper Rush out there, and he has to get better in order to give this team an opportunity to win.
It wasn't like there was pressuring him the whole game either. These interceptions, wasn't no pressure. Correct. Yeah. Like you said, he predetermined where he was throwing the ball, and in the last one, he just let it fly. Yeah. His arm ain't that big anyway, and he tried to let it fly, and it didn't happen. It just wasn't a day for Cooper Rush, and he did not help his team much today.
It wasn't really a day for anybody except for one guy maybe on that Cowboys roster, and that's Rico Dowdle. We're going to hear from Rico when we come back. Surpasses 1,000 yards, first undrafted player in Cowboys history to do so. We'll hear from Rico Dowdle after the loss and on a milestone in his career when we come back. Cowboys fall on the road 41-7, the final score, but there was a bright spot in what was otherwise a dark day for the Cowboys. Rico Dowdle gets in to the 1,000-yard rusher club, the first undrafted player to ever do so in a Cowboys uniform. Let's hear from Rico Dowdle after the game.
On a day when you didn't get the outcome you wanted, how do you describe the sense of satisfaction getting to 1,000 yards?
It definitely feels good. Definitely a landmark I wanted to hit, but like you said, not the outcome. Wish it was a different outcome with it. Had a fumble, but definitely satisfying getting it, reaching that landmark.
To get defensive front, felt like you had to make a couple of cuts, more so than you would in recent games. What were you seeing as the game went on to help get you to that 100-yard mark?
Like you said, making a couple cuts. Those guys up front, just moving, getting a little bit of movement, making the cutbacks, couple jump cut, make a guy miss, and it opened up. I think we ran the ball pretty well, and they blocked real well up front today. So, yeah.
Obviously, 1,000 yards is a big mark for you, but what's it like to watch Saquon hit 2,000 today, and just as a running back, how much appreciation do you have for the team?
Like I said earlier in the week, he's setting the standard right now and doing what he's supposed to do, and he's had a great season. But and like you said, he hit that 2,000 mark, and I think he's probably around like 60-something away from the record. So hope he can go do that, and that helps everybody out in the running back world. So definitely a lot of appreciation for what he's doing and how he's doing it out there.
As a running back who works on the same craft that he does, what are some of the things that he does that we might not see, but you know are really special?
I explained it earlier in the week. He just got a real second reaction after the original whatever is not there. He's good at finding creases, jumping around, and just creating on his own. And that's one of the biggest parts of his game. He's able to create on his own, and it showed a lot out there today, especially in the second half. He started doing a lot of creating on his own. And
after winning 4 or 5 here and kind of riding yourselves and working on some of the things that were troubling you earlier, how discouraging is it to have this game kind of pop up after you seem to kind of get on track here?
Yeah, very, very, very discouraging, I would say. Like you said, we won 4 out of the last 5, and coming into this game, we definitely didn't think this would be the outcome. Definitely thought we had enough and to go out there and win this game, and still do. But you know, you can't win games when you're 4-0 on a turnover, so and that hurt us a lot, including myself. So it starts right there. It's hard to win games in this league when it's 4-0 on the turnover round. So that's one of the main things.
What would you do differently on the fumble? Was it a ball security issue?
Yeah, I think when I bounce it, I'm not really sure. I got to watch it on the film, but I think when I bounce it, I hit off my lineman. So definitely just need to have the ball high and tight. Can't happen, especially in the red zone. So that was one of those costly mistakes in the game.
You dealt with a lot of different offensive linemen this year. What are the challenges in that? What kind of credit can you give to just the many guys up front that have fought for you this year?
Those guys have stayed prepared all year. Like you said, it's been a different group, like damn near every game this year. But those guys just staying prepared, coming in each and every week, putting the work in, and this past couple weeks, I think it's really picked up. And those guys have been able to go out there. They work hard every day. Everybody practices anyways. So those guys staying prepared and making the most of the opportunities. Specifically, I say Brock Hoffman and T.J. Bassett, he got in there. But Brock, he's been one of those main guys that's made the most of his opportunities out there. So definitely proud of him.
How much does the offense change when CD's not there? Just in general?
A lot. CD is a star player, one of our star players, and accounting for probably a huge portion of our offensive yards. So when he's not out there, you know, teams play you differently. And you got CD, a guy you got to scheme against. And you got to have 2 guys. You got to have eyes on them. So it's definitely different when your star receiver, your best receiver is not out there.
What was the sideline like, towards the end when Jalen got punched, Jalen Brooks, just the emotions that y'all are going through?
Protect your brother. That's the mindset we've always had, and that's what they did. They protect your brother, and that was the mindset.
Rico Dowdle goes for 104 yards, now over 1,000 on the regular season, 1,007 on 213 carries throughout the year, which is even more impressive, talking about the way that the season started and how it took a little time for this offense to find their rhythm on the ground. Kind of an odd stat here, gentlemen. If Rico Dowdle does not score a touchdown next week in the finale against Washington, he would become just the 3rd running back in NFL history to have 1,000 rushing yards in a season and only 1 rushing touchdown.
Ooh,
to go with it. He would only be the third. The other ones are Thomas Jones, New York Jet in 2007, and then Garrison Hurst, Arizona in 1995. Those are the only two.
There's a beast too.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Wow.
Both of those guys had great numbers in terms of rushing yards, and then, of course, did not have the rushing touchdowns to go along with it. What does that say about Rico Dowdle and the season he's had so far?
Look, when you look at it today, I mean, today was a good day for Rico Dowdle when you go out there and look. I mean, he was able to go out there. You saw the vision these past couple weeks. The offensive linemen, like he just said, there was guys in and out of there. They finally were able to play as a unit, and he saw the holes that were being created for him to go out there and make hay. I mean, he was making guys miss out there, finishing the run, and that's what you would have loved to see at the beginning of the season. But you know, rather late than never, he was able to go out there, get the job done. Another 100-yard game for this guy out there. So to me, this is another guy playing for another deal going down the line, and you know, hopefully he's able to finish out the season just as strong as he was able to do these past couple games.
Now that he's your number one back, give him the ball. Make sure he get into the end zone next week. I mean, you don't want that's a sad stat.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 yards, one TD or no TD. Give the man the ball, Coach McCarthy. Let this man get in the end zone a couple of times. So, I mean, let him finish strong.
Yeah, today was a good day for Rico, but this year he understood coming into the season he only had one shot, and that was to go out there and be the starter this year and go out there and have the season that he had in terms of 1,000 yards rushing. Very proud of him in the year he's had. Unfortunate that he's gotten down to the red zone, and they have given the ball to Zeke. They've given the ball to Hunter Lipke. They've given the ball to everybody else, you know, CeeDee Lamb on fly sweeps, everybody else. Let the man get his pay dirt, right? He's gone out there. He's gotten you down the field. Go ahead and let him go out there and get a couple touchdowns next week so they can walk out there with his head high.
Yeah, ready or not, I think there's a time to find Rico Dowdle and put him into the end zone. That's the thing. You gotta have some mentality whenever it comes to the red zone, and he hasn't had the chances. A lot of those chances have gone to Zeke this year. That's the case. So when we come back here on Cowboys OT, I want to hear from Osa Odighizuwa. Apparently he was a little frustrated after this one, and deservedly so. 41-7, the final against the Eagles. Welcome back into Cowboys OT as the Cowboys had 99 problems against the Philadelphia Eagles this week. 41-7 was the final score. We'll be right back after we hear from Osa Odighizuwa.
I just feel like it wasn't good enough in terms of just our ability to execute, and, you know, I feel like all around just wasn't good enough today.
Obviously, you guys were down on both sides. You guys get behind, how hard is that to come back from those
You know, kind of, I mean, just shooting ourselves in the foot. At that point, it's definitely going to be an uphill battle anytime that we're doing stuff like that.
So when you guys were successful in the past month, you guys were really good with the margin. What made it so difficult today to get any turnovers?
Not really sure, to be honest. I don't really know how to answer that one.
So you can hear there from Osa Odighizuwa, really frustrated after this one. Very short with the media. Osa's never been one to really be over the top whenever it comes to losses like this and interacting after the fact. But this one was a little bit more so. The Cowboys defense gives up 41 points, and you got to remember, this is against a team that was trotting out Kenny Pickett at quarterback and trotting out at the end Tanner McKee in his first ever NFL action. This wasn't the fully healthy Philadelphia Eagles offense, and they still put up 41 points.
Yeah, I mean, the frustrations from Osa, I mean, I can understand them. You know, you're going against your rival out there in the Philadelphia Eagles, and we all understand what that rivalry builds. You saw basically fights after every one of those special teams plays out there, and you go out there, you know what they're trying to do with Saquon. They're trying to feed him the football so he can get closer and closer to breaking that record, and then in the second half, you know, he just goes crazy on you as far as Saquon Barkley against his Dallas Cowboys defense. So the frustrations are mounting, just like you talked about. Kenny Pickett was going out there, and the offense was still able to put up 34 points. They also had a third-string quarterback go in there and throw a touchdown pass on you. So to me, you know, the frustrations are boiling up, and you just see the guy that just, man, he was tapped out. He was tired of it and let the frustrations build over.
I mean, it took them 6 to 8 weeks just to learn the defense and get down where they're supposed to be and how to handle the defense. Now they had success. 4 out of the 5 games they had a great defensive success, and all of a sudden they thought they was on the move. And now you run into a juggernaut of an offensive line, and this is, you know, they're a little bit more talented than you, and he felt that they should have been more into the game.
Yeah, in the words of Tupac, you got to keep your head up. You know, we're gonna want to continue to put your best foot forward. It's tough when you're playing against a team, offensive line that's this good, right? It's frustrating. You understand how dominant these guys are. You go out there and try to execute. You're coming off a really good game against Tampa Bay, and you feel like as if you're going to be able to show up and do the same exact thing, and then you don't, right? And then you don't get the same result. Yeah. It's frustrating. That's the result that you get. That interview that you just had with Osa, all you can do sometimes is kind of just shake your head, right? There will be a loss for words. You feel for him, you know, but you still have one more game to go out there and finish your product. You're on a contract year. You're on a contract year, so you still got to go out there and take care of business.
And that's what's going to be my point. Osa Odighizuwa, the fact that this could be, this upcoming week, his final game in a Cowboys uniform. There's a very real possibility of that. He is an unrestricted free agent going into the offseason. He's started his career here. He wants to win here. He's been very adamant about that moving forward. But if the right team comes around and offers him a deal, it's going to be hard for the Cowboys.
He's put his work in to get a big boy.
And he's earned that check. He's earned that opportunity. Yeah. That's going to be the case for Osa Odighizuwa moving forward. All right, when we come back, Kavontae Turpin had a couple nice returns as well. He spoke to the media after the Cowboys fall 41-7 on the road at Philadelphia. One of the big what-ifs for the Cowboys this season was Kavontae Turpin and the way that he gets involved in the Cowboys offense. Today was another one of those opportunities. He had some success in the return game, but not enough on the offensive side of the ball. Here's what he had to say after the loss.
Man, they hurt, man. We got turnover. They came out. They scored on these turnovers, so they put us back behind the sticks, and it was hard to come back, man. When after they scoring the ball after our turnovers, they hurt. So it was hard to just catch back up.
Turnovers tough to take because you guys were moving the ball pretty well earlier.
Yeah, it was hard to take, man. Because we get a turnover, they go down there and score. So it was hard. We fighting. But it's hard, man. They scoring the turnovers, and it's hard to come back from that.
Was the confidence there early? Because it seemed like you guys were moving the ball really well.
Yeah, man. I just feel like, man, can't nobody stop us on offense, man. If we don't get no turnovers, we move the ball, we go down there and kick a field goal or score. We don't get the turnovers. So I feel like, man, we did good moving the ball. It's just the turnovers limit us. That's what hurt us.
Can you speak of the chippiness out there? Start off chippy and end it off
I don't know. Shit, that's what we about, man. You know, that's how we go out there and play. You know, they want to trash talk, we're gonna trash talk. You know, they want to throw some hands, we want to throw some hands. You know, they just a game of football. You know, and I feel like we just, you know, we did good. No, I did this on the run play. You know, I bit my tongue. You know, my mouth just been bleeding the whole game. So yeah, no, everything good. Man, I just feel like, man, at the end of the day, you know, CD gone, we wasn't really calling no pass plays. You know, we just run the ball, throwing check downs. And I just feel like, man, if you want to see how we were doing, man, it wasn't no players downfield that we can, you know, get jiggy.
So, Kavontae Turpin, I mean, he talked about it there. There's some frustration.
Oof.
Can you sense that?
I can definitely sense that. He referenced.
And not just frustration with a loss. That's one thing.
Yeah, no,
That's frustration in the system.
No. Listen, first of all, he referenced the after play penalties, right, with the special teams unit, where they were trying to nuck if you buck, right? Those guys were knucking and they bucking in the end zone, right? He's talking about getting it up, throwing them hands, all that stuff. And then he started referencing getting jiggy with it and the chance of these guys getting the ball. He said that they weren't throwing the ball down the field because CeeDee Lamb was not in there. That's shots fired, right? That is shots fired. That is, that's
this
straight.
is the first time we've heard this audio, too.
Yeah.
So in hearing that, that's significant.
That's why I'm kind of laughing to myself, because I'm like, I don't know that he knows what he just said.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But when we've talked about this on multiple shows, throughout podcasts, throughout shows post-game, throughout shows on pregame, how do you get Kavontae Turpin involved? Today, again, 1 reception, 16 yards, and then he has the return ability that he does. Now, he did drop a pass that was one where they tried to get it outside, but again, underneath, and then let him run with it. And if he holds on to the ball, who knows what happens. But where does that sense of confidence start to build, or lack thereof start to diminish for a guy like Turpin?
You got to get this man the ball. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. This is one of the most explosive weapons that you have on your offense. You know, outside of CeeDee Lamb, I don't know who can, do more damage with the ball in their hands other than Turp. And for 1 reception for 16 yards here, it's just uncalled for in my opinion. You did give him that one handoff earlier in the game, but it just goes too long without him touching the football. Whether it's a screen, a shallow, a slant, something to get this guy the football. You don't have CeeDee Lamb, so you don't have a guy that can consistently win no matter what, whether zone, man-to-man coverage. He's not on the football field. So you got to tailor-make the game plan around your playmakers that you do have. And to me, Turpin is one of those guys to where Cooper Rush doesn't have to hold the ball as long. You can snap it and throw it to him and get it right to him and get the ball in his hands. Let him do damage in space. He just didn't have that many opportunities today, and it's been like that throughout the entire season, in my opinion.
You know, Isaiah, you spoke on it the whole year. Get him the ball somehow, some way. And this is a guy who's normally humble, keeps his mouth closed, but he felt in his heart today, our horse is going, our number one guys. I would get more touches. He really believed that he would get more touches. I just think that's part of going out there, being a ball player, having confidence in yourself. And that's all that kid. I mean, I don't think he knew what he was saying either, because we've never heard that before, and he's been interviewed before. But in his heart, he knew he was going to touch that ball maybe 10 to 12 times.
That's a competitor.
It just didn't happen.
That's the competitor in him, right? The competitor in him says, hey, I'm a playmaker. I know what I can do. I know what I have done in this league and on this team. And with our big dog gone, and with us, you heard it in the pregame show. If you guys watched the pregame show, like I know you did, Stephen Jones talked about how he was communicating with Coach McCarthy on the sideline before the game, talking about how these young receivers were going to get opportunities. Turpin felt that. He was communicated that, and then he did not receive that. That's the frustration that boils over as well. I hope that those comments don't come back to bite him, but I feel what he's saying.
That's where you feel, because like you said, in terms of mentality, he's been in the right mentality. He's been in the right mindset throughout his career in Dallas, and he's waited for his opportunities. I think, like you said, he probably anticipated more opportunity in this game today. Didn't get it with the 1 reception for 16 yards. Now, when we come back, the offensive line showed some good things. They also had some lapses as well in the loss, just like anybody, in the 41-7 fall to Philadelphia. We'll talk to Tyler Smith when we come back.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Tyler Smith and this Cowboys offensive line, even without Zach Martin in the fold, showing some signs of improvement up front. Brock Hoffman doing a nice job. Of course, Cooper Beebe in his rookie season doing some right things. But at the same time, the Cowboys did not protect exceptionally well against a really good defensive line from Philadelphia. Here's what Tyler Smith had to say after the game.
I mean, yeah, it was tough. I mean, it's going to be hard to win games. I think we had some costly turnovers, to be honest. I think we moved the ball well early on, despite the pick six. I think we overcame that, the way we should have, and we came down and we scored the way we were supposed to. I just felt like, we were beating ourselves more than they beat us, quite honestly. So we just got to, that's just got to be cleaner.
Away from the final results, is there some satisfaction in terms of helping Rico accomplish the goal of 1,000 rushing yards?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's huge. I believe he's the first undrafted free agent in Cowboys history to do that, so that's just huge. That's a testament, not only to, his work ethic, but, the entire blocking unit from the O-line and tight ends, QBs, all that stuff. So, just a phenomenal job by him. The way he runs, physical, hard, his vision, all those things. So congrats to him, and I think we'll see more of that in his future for sure. So.
Getting some traction and riding yourself a little bit, winning 4 or 5, and being competitive in these games. Just how discouraging to have this up again after the way you played.
It's extremely hard. I think for everybody. But one thing I can definitely say is nobody on our sideline quit. Like not one person, threw in the towel, folded, started pointing fingers or any of that. So I can definitely say, our guys, just one of a kind guys. We're gonna come in, we're gonna work. The result wasn't nearly what we wanted today, but at the end of the day, we got one more opportunity next week. That's all we can focus on, so that's what we got to do.
I like the way Tyler outlined that at the end. There's still more work to do. He's a young guy, but he has a mature mindset on that offensive line for the Cowboys alongside Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, and Kyle Yeomans. And Nate, that's been the key for this offensive line. You're talking about a couple of young guys who are glass eaters up front that continue to show the physicality and they continue to hustling throughout the year.
Yeah, we started out with Guyton and Beebe as our 2 young guys, and then all of a sudden we get Brock Hoffman and T.J. Bass get in there. And but the most consistent guy has been Tyler Smith. He's been balling. He's keeping these guys together. Mike Solari, he's been under fire, probably still is under fire, but he's got these guys going in the right direction.
Coach Solari's done a heck of a job with this offensive line. I feel like we have this conversation every year in terms of the offensive line and the job that offensive line coach does with the musical chairs, right, that's going on up front. But once again, we're here again talking about the production of the O-line and how they have allowed for Rico Dowdle to go out there and have the season that he's had. That's something that has been consistent. We just wish, right, we wish we can go back, right, but we can't. But we wish we could go back and utilize this running game earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I think the result of the season would have been different.
I think if you put together that one, we're talking about Rico Dowdle in a much different light.
Yeah.
I think going into his unrestricted free agent season, but you're also talking about this offensive line in a different way too, moving forward. So lots to look forward to. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up, put this one in the rearview mirror, and talk about the keys to turning things around and ending the season on a high note against Washington next week.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Cowboys OT was brought to you by Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys. And by blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com.
The Cowboys swept by the Philadelphia Eagles 75-13 over the 2 games this year. This time they fall 41-7 at Lincoln Financial Field. Wrapping things up with Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Gentlemen, final thoughts as we go into the final week of the regular season.
For this team, just continue to show that same mentality as far as fighting, scratching, clawing, to do whatever you can to get these victories. I mean, we know the season's over as far as playoffs is concerned, but as a team, as a unit, fight for the name on the back of your jersey and your brothers in that locker room as well.
Just make sure you're checking the boxes. And we talked about it earlier in one of our other shows. Make sure when the coach calls your name, the head coach or the owner or the president, say, what do you think about this guy? Make sure they check the box on you as a positive player, as a good player.
Man, rep your city, rep your clique. Go out there and represent yourself, represent the organization, and make sure you put good tape out there.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Very well done. Moving into that final week of the regular season. We still don't know when the Cowboys will play. It'll either be Saturday or Sunday, but we'll see you either way with more Cowboys OT.